Joe, November the 12th, the next one. Natasha, all the belts. Manchester, but you've got Clark as well. So what else is happening? How's the whole thing building up?
Yeah, good. Obviously, it's a huge fight. It's great to be back at the arena. It's called, what's the arena called now? The AO Arena. It's gone from the 9X Manchester to the AO Arena. But it's great to go back with Natasha headlining as well. We've had some great nights there with Anthony Crolla, Scott Quigg headlining there. Now to go back with Natasha headlining. It's where we started the year when Natasha won her first world title. We've since then been to Liverpool, won the WBC, and here now we're back again for a third world title fight, and also the ring belt on the line against Marie-Eve Decaire, who's a very good fighter. Everyone recognises her as the number one in the division. She only had one loss out of 19 fights, and that was to Clarissa Shields on points in Detroit. So it's a huge fight, and yeah, it's going to be a great event, especially coming on the back of the female fights recently of Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields. And Clarissa mentioned she'd come back to fight Natasha Jonas, and I sort of like told Natasha off the other day when she came in the gym. I'd seen something on social media, Natasha talking about Clarissa. I said, don't be talking about Clarissa, you've got this fight to do. And then she showed me a text saying, no, look, I've just said that, I'm concentrating on this fight, blah, blah. So, yeah, can't take our eyes off it. And then obviously Clark Smith had his pro debut in Liverpool, fought in October with Kieran Shaw, and is back on the undercard here at Manchester. And 3 fights, and here he is at the Manchester Arena. He's buzzing, he's been there to watch them Crolla, Quigg, Ricky Hatton night. So, yeah, so that's Manchester. And then we obviously, beforehand, as most probably Callum Johnson fighting for the European title, Jose Burton out, and Paul Butler then to end the year with a bang. Mission impossible, call it what you want, in a huge unification fight with one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world against Inoue. So, yeah, we've had a great year this year up to now, and we're into the last 2 months of the year, so hopefully we can get a few more belts and cause one of the biggest upsets of boxing.
When you started working with Natasha a few years back, she came out of retirement, obviously. She'd had Mela, and she came back to turn as a pro. Would you have thought then that you'd have Clarissa and Savannah topping a bill, the O2, Katie Taylor now this weekend topping the bill, Natasha's topping the bill now in Manchester? Would you have believed that women's boxing would get where it is, and Natasha's right in there as one of the pioneers?
It's always to be wise after the event, isn't it? But at that time, there was no slant on Natasha. Natasha's one of the best fighters I've ever trained. Her dedication, her application, attention to detail was right up there, very right up there. So I'm not surprised in the success Natasha Jonas has had. But like you say, it's a knock-on effect and it's snowballed. We see that with the England football, the Lionesses, the netball. And like Natasha always said, it needed more eyes on the sport. And the fights haven't failed. I think Natasha was involved in Fight of the Year. Was it 2000, 2001? Terry Harper in Eddie's back garden. Then she was involved with a huge good fight with Katie Taylor. And then this year, if Natasha pulls off this win, she's right up there for British Fighter of the Year and BBC Sports nominations for Sports Personality of the Year. That's what I'd expect. But the depth, I see it with the academy that I have, the amount of girls that are going there now. Liv Holmes has gone on to GB. Paige has gone boxing for England. Ella went over to Ireland and got a gold medal the other week. So that's beginning to grow and grow and grow. And as you see, more and more girls are turning pro. And it was great that boxing had its first all-female card. And it drew so many figures. Smart marketing by Sky and programming. And it drew a lot of attention. Let's hopefully now the same energy is in for the Natasha Jonas Maria Decaire fight. It's a huge fight, huge unification. The ring belt's on the line, and Natasha Jonas. Listen, what a year she's having! What a year she's having! But this is what we need to keep the momentum rolling. Obviously, you say Katie this week, and then Natasha, and then whatever is before the end of the year.
But they're all proper fights as well, aren't they? And I mean, boxing's had a right kick in the last few weeks for one reason or another. And again, you know, people are criticising the Fury-Chisora fight and what's happened with Conor Benn and Chris Eubank. And it does seem at the minute that the women's side of the game is just doing the business. And the right matches, and again, it seems to be a shot in the arm.
Yeah, exactly. It was only the other week we had boxing royalty in Manchester, Amanda Serrano. And often get starstruck, but she's a boxing royalty, isn't she? So to have people that come over to these shows and fight and watch and entertain, and like you say, the division, I think that there's world title fights coming up now over here with Ebony Bridges, Shannon Courtney, all them type of fights all the way up. So Chantel Cameron, let's not forget her, she's in a huge fight coming up with Jessica McCaskill in unification in 2 weeks, November the 5th. So it's, women's boxing's doing brilliant, and obviously Clarissa Shields, we've seen that fight, Savannah, and the girls, they're seeing the profile, they're getting the recognition now, and that's just encouraging more, like Savannah says, more girls and boys to come into the gymnasiums, which is good for the sport.
And you mentioned just before then, CJ, when's he going to be out?
Hopefully before the end of the year for fighting for the European title. Just waiting on the date now. And
then Ophi's out as well, you said?
Yes.
So, right. And anyone else, any other fights on the horizon?
No, unless the phone goes, but everyone's in the gym. You've seen they've all fought recently, McCauley, everyone else. So, we'll just have to wait and see. Might be a chance for one or two others out before then, but Mark Effron's not out till next year. He's had a great year, British Commonwealth champion. 3 fights, 3 wins, 3 knockouts. And, then it's all roads to Japan.